Good afternoon all. Welcome to the class of Geometrical Optics. We'll be discussing about nature of light in today's lecture. So photoelectric effect. So we need to understand photoelectric effect, which we need to understand before we understand what is dual nature of light. So when we understand photoelectric effect, then only you'll get to a conclusion that why light is considered in dual nature, why only not in particle nature or in wave nature. So some phenomena can only be explained by a wave by using wave nature. Some phenomena can only be explained by particle nature. But there are some phenomena which has to be incorporated by both the theories. You had to have wave theory as well as you have wave particle theory. Then only some phenomena can be explained. So here we understand photoelectric effect first. So when an electromagnetic radiation introduced in a metal surface, it was found the electrons are emitted from the metal surface. This is called as photoelectric effect. The emitted electron called as photon electrons. So when you introduce electromagnetic radiation onto a metal surface, what happens? The photons will be emitted from the metal surface. So the radiation came and hit the metal surface. There will be some photons which are there in the uh, iron sheet or the metal surface. So from there your photons will be re-emitted. So this is called as photoelectric effect. Let's understand more about it. So let's understand more about photoelectric effect. So there are two things which we need to understand in photoelectric effect. So here, when you want to create more energy, so you need to have more frequency in the incident radiation. When you have more frequency in the incident radiation, more energy can be captured from the metal surface. And the second point says that when the intensity of the radiation increased, the number of ejected electrons increased. So when you increase the intensity, okay, when you increase the intensity, the ejected number of electrons number will be increased. Okay, combining both these points, you can take to a conclusion that it was found that one photon is responsible for one electron ejection. So if you are only using one photon, there will be only emission of one electron. So each photon is responsible for each release of electron. This is called as photoelectric effect. So now let's understand what is dual nature of light. As we said, light appears to have two different sets of behaviors under different circumstances. Light sometimes shows dual nature. It has both wave nature and particle nature. So we'll understand in further classes how sometimes it behaves in wave nature and sometimes it behaves in particle nature in depth. Okay, when we go through different phenomena like refraction, reflection, polarization, interference, diffraction, so we'll be understanding about different phenomena there. So depending on the phenomena or behavior, light can be treated as wave or as a particle. So we'll see more about it. As we just understood what is photoelectric effect, so here, so I'll make you understand in a simpler way how where you are going to take it as a uh, in terms of particle nature, and where you're going to take it as in terms of wave nature. So as we just discussed photoelectric effect, so in photoelectric effect, when you're saying that the light is behaving in terms of photon, and when a photon hit the electric surface, so electron will be ejected. So the photon, when it is going and hitting the metal surface, so it is just nothing but it is behaving in terms of particle nature. So it's just like you're throwing a ball to a wall, and there's some dust or something which is emitting out from the wall surface. So that's how. So if it is not in the particle nature, you can't create an energy to hit the surface of the wall. So here in case of photoelectric effect, light is behaving in terms of particle nature, whereas in case when you are trying to understand things like dispersion, interference, polarization, so you had to think in terms of wave nature only. Then only you can make to a conclusion that light is showing some type of interference, and it is showing polarization, and it is also showing dispersion. So dispersion is nothing but when a light ray, and it goes through a prism, it disperses into different components of light, visible light, which is also called as Vibgya. So it will be split into different components, which is called as dispersion. So dispersion can only be possible when you create, or when you think, or when you apply the phenomena of wave in case of this particular theory. It's a video to understand why, how dual nature of light is uh, need to be understood, and why exactly the comparison is required here, and what is the comparison, how wave nature and particle nature, how light is going to satisfy these two different things. So here you can see a picture of an elephant, and there are four people who are standing, you know, at the elephant. So one is holding the teeth, he is saying that the teeth are sharper. The other one is holding the leg, he is saying that the leg is, you know, bulk or heavy. The third person is holding the stomach, he is saying the stomach is flat. And the fourth person is holding the tail, he is saying that the tail is thinner. So each person is holding different particular uh, part of it, and they are assuming it in a different way. But you know, it the conclusion will be made in only by the perception. So here, when you understand light in terms of wave nature and particle nature, the wave nature can satisfy interference, and your particle nature can satisfy photoelectric effect, as just we have discussed photoelectric effect. And when you are trying to understand in terms of wave nature, and when you are taking it as in terms of interference, so you can take a conclusion in case of diffraction, interference, and polarization. So all this can only be possible when you understand light as in wave, and it depends on the where exactly the wave nature has to be applied, and where exactly the particle nature has to be applied. It depends on the scale of it. Okay, so here there are two different scientists who said these two phenomena. We have Sir Isaac Newton, who said that light is in particle nature, and we have Thomas Young Edison, so who said light is in terms of wave nature. So we have a comparison to understand which are the different phenomena, and in which place we need to take in terms of particle nature and in terms of wave nature. So we have reflection. In case of reflection, the particle nature and wave nature are satisfied. In case of refraction, both are satisfied. In case of interference, so your particle nature doesn't apply interference, but whereas your wave nature is applied in case of interference. Diffraction, same, you can't explain diffraction using particle nature, and it can be explained by wave nature. Polarization, it can't be explained by particle nature, but it can be explained by wave nature. And final, we have photoelectric effect. In photoelectric effect, it can be explained only by using particle nature, it can't be explained by wave nature. So these are different phenomena, and this is the way we need to understand light in place of different phenomena. So when you are trying to understand interference by wave nature, it can't be understood. Okay, and when you are trying to understand photoelectric effect by using wave nature, it can't be understood. So you had to understand it by particle nature only. The diffraction can be only understood when you treat it as wave. So it's a formula here to select a model of radiant energy that is appropriate to a spatial or temporal scale of an interaction with matter. So it depends on where exactly you are applying, and that's how you go and understand you understand the light nature. Light behavior as a wave as it passes through air, vacuum, other transparent media, including transparent ocular tissues. So when, as the phenomena of vision, when we are trying to understand the phenomena of vision, so light hits the retina. So but when it is hitting the retina, when before transmitting it into a neuro signal, so it has to hit the retina, it has to touch the retina, but before touching the retina, it has to travel through different medias. You have, starting with tear film. So tear film refractive index is different. You have, next is cornea refractive index is different. After cornea, it has to go through aqueous humor. the refractive index and the curvature of aqueous humor is different. Next is it has to go through the lens, both again refractive index and adaptive power of your lens is different, and then it has to go through vitreous humor. The adaptive power and refractive index are different, and then only it can reach till the to the photoreceptors, your rods and cones, which are which are captures the light. So we'll understand the complete visual pathway again. Okay, so but here phenomena can be the phenomena of wave nature can be explained by using propagation of light through vacuum. Okay, as light it can be explained by particle nature. It can also be explained by wave nature. When light is traveling through vacuum, it can be explained. Reflection of light and refraction of light, it can be explained by wave nature, and it can also be explained by particle nature. And when it comes to interference, diffraction, polarization, these three phenomena can only be explained by using wave nature. And the other thing which we need to understand is photoelectric effect. Photoelectric effect can only be understood by using particle nature. It can't be understood by using wave nature. So using wave nature, interference is one phenomena which has to be explained by using wave nature only. By using particle nature, you can never explain interference pattern. So the scientist who is Young, who had explained the Young double slit experiment to make us understand the pattern of interference. So it was introduced in the year of 1800. It provided an experimental basis for considering light as a wave. So Thomas Young double slit experiment. So a monocoherent light is used, and this monocoherent light in a constructive way, if you make the interference, so it will form fringes. The fringes could be dark fringes, light fringes. So this is the experiment which will be understanding further classes in depth. Reflection and refraction. So these are two different phenomena, basic the behavior of light. To understand the reflection and refraction, you had to understand both particle nature and wave nature, and both the particle nature and wave nature are going to explain reflection pattern, refraction pattern. So polarization, it's a property of waves that can oscillate in more than one direction. So when light is imagined in terms of wave, then only it can be explained. Polarization, electromagnetic waves such as light exhibit the polarization. Light is an electromagnetic wave in which, as we discussed in the beginning slides itself, so you have two components inside it. You have electric field and you have magnetic field. So they are perpendicular to each other. So light is using a filter. Light is filtered out using one particular axis, and by doing this, the polarization effect can be achieved. So this effect can be achieved only by understanding light in terms of wave. Particle nature of light. Light exhibits some characteristics of particle when it being absorbed or when it is being generated in a light source. So these are the phenomena which can be explained by using particle nature. Photoelectric effect, scattering of light, emission of light, and absorption of light. So these are four different phenomena which has to be explained by particle nature. These four phenomena can't be explained by using wave nature. Before photoelectric effect, light is not much to be considered as a particle, but photoelectric effect is one phenomena which has to make us understand light in terms of particle. So it was explained by Einstein in the year of 1900. It provided an experimental basis for considering light as a particle. So photoelectric effect is responsible for detection of objects by absorbing as opposite to light emission. So as we discussed just now, so when some intensity of light is going and hitting a metal surface, so some electrons will be ejected. So when the electrons are ejecting, so it depends on the energy of the light, and it depends on the intensity of the light. The number of electrons which are ejected will be depending on the energy of the light and depending on the intensity of the initial radiation. So in the end, light consists of two components, so electric field and magnetic field. And electromagnetic spectrum consists of visible light. Nature of light follows dual nature, compromises of wave and particle behavior. So this is a summary of today's presentation. The references which you can follow Geometrical Optics by Milton Kotz. It's a book. And you have Geometrical Optics and Optical Design by Pantis Morales and John McDonald. So these are the two books which you can follow for understanding light, the dual nature of light. And we have one more book by Clinical Refraction by Borish to understand different phenomena like interference, diffraction, polarization, reflection and refraction. Thank you.